So we've been working on this habitat, which is meant to be an accessible area where people can enjoy the woodland, and it looks quite nice. But we had to leave some habitat and diversity in here. So we've got some wild privet there. That's really the start of this corridor. Once you get beyond there, this habitat has kind of turned into something more. There's less habitat there. It's basically the path up there. So as we come down here, we've got wild privet, which is a great habitat. And you can see there's still a lot of ivy, which we've left as well, also great habitat. And then there's the dead hedge as we go down there. So there's a corridor through here for small creatures that they can still use to get down into the wilder area again down there. We've still got lots of bramble. If you look behind, you'll see a lot of bramble. Now we've taken out a lot of bramble, and people are complaining that we're taking out the bramble, but when you look, we've taken out a ton of bramble. There's still 7 tons of bramble. It's fine. It's not going to be an issue. We've cleaned the floor a bit, but not too much. You wouldn't want to clean the floor too much, but we've scraped up a lot of stuff so that you can walk around here. And we'll probably come back in the spring and chop down some more of the bramble so that this remains a kind of footway through this section. Now you'll see here the natural succession of the woodland. You've got willow just behind you and alder. Now those are trees that really like the wet habitat, and they will have come here and soaked up some of the soil, or some of the water from the soil, sorry, not the soil, obviously. And so that's a willow there, and there's alder just down there, and here there's an alder here, and alder there. These are trees that like water, and they will have been the first ones here, and they're some of the biggest ones here. And then coming in on the back of that, where the ground's already starting to get a little drier, and there's a little bit less light on the floor, that so the pest species will be controlled by the lack of light. Then we start to see birch coming up. We've got birch here and here, all these white stems, they're all birch. And then we've got hawthorn here. That's another one of what we call these pioneer species. So these are coming in here as soon as the ground is dry enough for them to do so, and they're growing up and they're doing a great job. They form the next level of the woodland, and then eventually, when that's gone on and the ground is almost a woodland already, then you start to get the oak come in. So this is the third stage of the succession, and you can see them all here, which I just find brilliant. I just really love it. You've got the big willows and the alders, then you've got the birch and the hawthorn, and then you start to get the oaks and maybe the ashes, and in some places maybe the limes. But then you start to get that too. So you can see how young these are. They've only just started to come in. And in order to make that happen, we have to remove things like sycamore, which don't have any real habitat value. They're not a native species. They're just invasive, and they come in, and they're not part of any kind of British woodland, and they don't serve any kind of British habitat value. So we remove them in order to let these trees thrive, and we keep the other elements of the woodland, which would be in a natural woodland, like ivy, bramble and hazel, but we keep them in proportion to what they would be if this woodland were undisturbed. And by doing that, we allow the natural species that would be in this woodland still to thrive. That's going to be mainly birds and rodents and toads. We had a toad in here yesterday. I took him out and put him by the water. He was very annoyed that I found him, but he was really in the way, so I gently put him back. But because this is an accessible patch, we've got some utility here. We like these birches. We can use them for bushcraft without doing them any harm. We can tap the branches for water. We've got willow here. We can take branches of that for cordage and for basket weaving. The hazel is the same. That's great for woodworking down there, and obviously hazelnuts on that. So this woodland now, given the balance of the fact that you need to have species in here, you need to have some biodiversity, but you also need to have people able to come in here and do things and enjoy it, so that they'll want to look after the whole woodland. I think this is really nice. This site's exactly how I want it to be now. I don't know if you can pan around, Steffi, and show them the view across this section of woodland, but no,
I'll give it a go.
not to brag, but I mean, we're pretty happy with how it's gone. I think it's beautiful.
It's wonderfully opened up now. And this was all too thickly dense
there was a
to
narrow
go
walkway through the middle, and the rest of it was just way too dense. It was all nettle and bramble and saplings.
And litter.
Yeah, it was litter and weed trees that were just all crowded up to each other. So yeah, we've made real progress.
Well done. Thank you very much.